Hi everybody, it's Lauren Brown, also known as Raggedy Royal on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and now, oh my gosh, like, do I need to oil my, it's getting a little rusty, huh? On Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and now YouTube. And today we're going to be doing a one eyeshadow look in this dark brown. Yes, so we have already done a light brown one eyeshadow look. I wanted to switch up a little bit and we're doing this in dark brown. If you have been following this series, I appreciate you. We have done almost all the colors so far. I'm glad that you guys are learning. If you enjoyed this video along the way, please give it a like and subscribe down below. Thank you so much for 48,000 subscribers. We're almost at 50,000 and I'm so excited. 50,000, what's next? 100,000, then a million, then a gazillion, and I'm just excited. Here's your warning. Okay, before we get started, you're going to do your base after your eyeshadow today because there's going to be fallout, dark brown fallout on your base. Having to do your base twice. So go ahead and do your eyes before your base. There is your warning. We're going to get right into the tutorial. Okay, so we're starting off with the eyes already primed. Of course, we're using the Anastasia Beverly eyeshadow primer. I already put that on the lids and got it all flat so that our foundation is nice. Now I'm going to go in with a fluffy brush. Today I'm going to be using the Colourpop Gone Matte palette, and we're going to be going into shade Powder Puff. This is a frequent friend to the show. I've used it in a lot of natural or neutral color eyeshadow looks. All right, we're going to go into shade Powder Puff. And that's gonna be our one eyeshadow. I'm using a super fluffy brush. If you don't have this brush, that's cool. This is from BH Cosmetics a long time ago. I might be the only person on earth who still has this brush, but you can use any fluffy brush that is comparable to this. I'm gonna start in the outer corner, out towards the ear. That's where your outer corner is. And I'm blending all the way up to the brow bone. We are going to be blending it from the outer corner all the way to the inner corner, and I'm going to be honest, this is much darker than I expected. Also, this is my first time doing this eyeshadow look. Usually I've done it once for like a TikTok or ever, but we are really experiencing this for the first time together. We're blending it all the way towards the inner corner. Where's the inner corner? That's where your tear duct is. All the way across the crease and all the way up to that brow bone, really covering up all of that white. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other eye. Starting in the outer corner. Honestly, you could start in the outer corner or the inner corner because you're going across the eye, so it really doesn't matter. It's not like one of those eyeshadow looks that has like a multicolored crease. Blending all the way up. And it looks crazy right now, but just walk with me. I find brown personally to be the hardest eyeshadow color to blend. I know that's probably unpopular. I was just having a conversation with one of my mutuals last night, and she was like, no, it's definitely purple. I'm like, no, it is brown. Brown is definitely hard, but don't worry. This is more just us making a skeleton, all right? Let me go ahead and do my Lauren Brown brush breakdown now. We're gonna start with this fluffy brush. As we go down the eye, we're gonna be using more and more tapered brushes, so they look thinner. What's really happening is the brush bristles are more densely packed, so they're close together, which is what makes the brush look so thin. But as we go down the eye, you're gonna be using less fluffy brushes. As you go up the eye, they're gonna get fluffier. The brush bristles are less densely packed, you know, they're nice and wide. So we started with this brush here. Now we're gonna go in with this right here. This is a Morphe M433, and I am going into Powder Puff. I'm starting at the outer corner again and blending in towards that inner corner. Using circular motions and doing the same thing on the other eye, going all the way across the crease. Where's your crease? That's that fold. So when you look up and look down where your eyes fold, that's that crease. Going back in with that fluffy brush and blending out the edges. There will be a lot of that where you go to the last step that you just did to make sure that everything is nice and blended. Okay, now we're going to go in with an even more tapered brush. This is a Morphe M514, and we're going to go into, you guessed it, Powder Puff, that same brown from before. And I'm going to go once again into that crease. And since the brush is smaller, it's really getting into like a lower part of that crease. You can see what I mean. It's hard to explain it because it's like, it's all the crease. But it can really get into the nooks and crannies because this brush is more tapered. It is smaller. And blending that across the eye. These smaller, more tapered brushes really work to concentrate the color. So as you can see, compared to here and here, the fluffy brush really diffuses it. This brush here really packs it on. It adds that definition, that depth. It's funny because you would think that I use like 3 or 4 different browns here, but it's all the same. It's just 3 or 4 different brushes. Going back in with that second brush that we used to reinforce that blend. It's in between in terms of fluffiness, in terms of taperness. It's in between that really tapered brush and that fluffy brush. So it takes up more mass, so it helps in blending in that aspect. But it also applies more punch than the fluffy brush. Going back in with that fluffy brush. All right, I feel like this is such an interesting brown. I feel like it's kind of purple a little bit. Am I tripping? Like, it's not a warm tone brown, which I think is good because we've already done a warm tone brown. We just did warm tone brown when I did the one eyeshadow looking brown the first time. It's interesting. It's an interesting color brown. And I know it's gonna be super interesting when we apply it with this flat brush. So I'm gonna use a flat brush. This is a Morphe M166. And usually whenever I apply the color with the flat brush in these one eyeshadow looks, the color looks completely different than it does anywhere else on the eye because once again, this is packing the eyeshadow on and it's not blending out. So let's just see what it looks like. I'm going to apply this right to, see, now it's all warm. Crazy. So I'm going to be applying this to the lid, but not only to the lid, I'm going to go over the crease a little bit. You're probably like, Lauren, that looks crazy. Yes, yes. But doesn't most things look crazy when we're in transit, you know, before we get to where we're going? That's a sermon that'll preach. Before we get to the final look, most things do look crazy. I find that when the eyeshadow is applied with the flat brush, it looks the most like it does in the pan. Going once again over that crease, so we're not just going onto the lid. If we were doing a cut crease, you know, I'd be very, very careful about how we applied this, where we applied this, you know, the boundaries. But this is not a cut crease. If you want to see a cut crease video, don't worry, I have plenty. I would love for you to watch them. And since it's not a cut crease video, we can play around a little bit. And the other reason why I do this is because we're going to go back in with that taper brush and really blend that crease and kind of make it all look as one. Make it look incorporated and not like, oh, she blended the browns there and then she just kind of threw that light brown on the lid, because once again the color does not look the way it does in the crease. So we want to make sure that's cohesive as possible. Now I accidentally blended that brush onto a little bit, so it's kind of like taking it away. So I'm gonna go back in and add a little bit more. Not too much though, because I don't want it to break from itself. Sometimes when you blend an eyeshadow too much, it will start to separate from itself. It's crazy. This right here is like totally different shades of brown. I want to quickly go and do my base. If you want to know how to do my base makeup, don't worry, I'm not leaving you behind. There are many base videos on my channel for you to watch where I go much more in depth than I could in this quick video. I have a how to do my orange base, how to do my pink base. And when I say orange and pink, I mean the blush colors that I'm using. Matte base, dewy base. So if you want to check those videos out, they'll come up in my base makeup playlist. Okay, the base is on. Now let's do the waterline. So I'm going to be using the Makeup Forever Artist Color Pencil in Dimensional Dark Brown. I also did use this as a lip liner. And I'm going to go ahead and line that waterline. Yes, okay. I just lined that waterline. I did not use a craft brush because I don't even think a craft brush will work on this. I got it really sharp and went at an angle. So really the angle is, what is this? Not 90, 180 to go across the waterline. Never going at it, never poking ourselves in the eye because that is scary. All right, now let's pick up that flat brush. Going back into shade Powder Puff with that flat brush, and this is kind of big, kind of bigger than the usual flat brushes I use. So I need to be super careful because I don't want this to go too low onto the cheeks. It will start looking like a bruise. We don't want that. So we're keeping it nice and close. One of my eyes is starting to water. That's all right. Hopefully it just stops. That's my hope. Always my eyes water is hopefully you stop. Kind of something that just messes things up. I'm going to go in with this Morphe M433, one of those taper brushes from before, and with a little bit of that brown, kind of blend that out. Oh my gosh. Okay, too much. It's okay. We're going to blend it. Let's blend it out. How does that keep that? I think it's on the side of the brush. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go back in with some setting powder, kind of mellow that out. And I think our other taper brush is even more tapered, so let's just try that one. Okay. Much better. And since you're here, I might as well show you how I'm going to blend this out into blush, right? So I'm going to be going in with an orange blush to start with. And this is the Beauty Bakery Snack Rooms Blush in Hey Pumpkin, a frequent friend to the show. I'm going to use this Made by Mitchell brush. This is an MF3 site. Before I even get into that, I'm going to take that fluffy brush and I'm going to bring that brown just a little bit further down onto the face. Bringing that down first. And we're using the fluffy brush because, like we said before, it is the brush that diffuses. Okay, it might be too much, but we'll see. We'll see. And then we're going to go in with that orange. Oh my gosh, also too much. But we're going to keep blending it out. I absolutely love these big fluffy brushes because there's a bigger margin for error. Just like we were saying with this fluffy brush diffuses, this fluffy brush will also diffuse. So it's okay. It's too much. I'm going to do exactly what I did earlier, which was just add a little setting powder. If you want to know more about setting powder, guess what I have? A video for you. I have a setting powder 101 video where I answer all the questions from the ragdolls. What is a ragdoll? If you follow me, you are a ragdoll. Okay, you're part of the Raggy Royal Republic, the community. If you have not subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. We're almost 50,000 subscribers down below. All right, now honestly, that's fire, and you could leave it there, but I'm going to blend a little bit of pink in there as well. I'm going to take this Colourpop F32 and this Too Faced Cloud Crush blush in Watermelon Rain. And then lastly, a little bit of the Colourpop blush in Flamingo that I did drop on the floor, but I have nothing comparable to it, so I cannot turn my back. And this is a very light pink. Make it kind of more wearable. It's not, I mean, wearable is so, but that's what I like to do. Once again, if it's too much, I'll just go in with some setting powder. Go back in with that orange and do it like so, like that. So now I'm going to do the other side and put my lashes on. If you want to know how to put on lashes, you guessed it, I have a video for you on how to apply lashes. You can check that video out. I'm going to go put on my lashes and do the other side of my blush, and we'll be right back for the final look. Okay, so here is the final look. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, if you enjoyed one eyeshadow looks, guess what? We have an entire playlist now. Red, yellow, green, purple. I don't know if this one's going to come before or after the purple. Pink, So many. So you can check out, and a light brown. So if you're like, girl, when I thought brown, I was thinking a lighter brown. Guess what? We have lighter brown already posted for you. You can check out that playlist. If you'd love to see any more eyeshadow looks, guess what? We have many different ones. I don't only do one eyeshadow look because of the people and what the people have requested. We are now in one eyeshadow series, but we do a lot of things on here. So make sure to subscribe down below. Thank you so much for 48,000 subscribers. We're almost to that big 50,000. If you want to see more looks, more of my life, you can check me out on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, all at Raggedy Royal. Also, if you recreate this, I would love to see it, so you can tag me on those socials, or you can DM me if you don't post. I just love to see the recreations. Let me know what look you want to see next. Maybe it's this look in a different color. We haven't done blue or orange yet, so there's that. Or anything else that you want to see. I make an abundance of content. I have a piercing video that I owe y'all because it's the 5-year anniversary, so there's that. But that is all from me, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.